Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller, the podcast. I'm joined by Seth.
Hey, welcome, guys. Thanks for finding us on the internet.
Now, these shows originally aired on Brookings Radio, but now they're all here for your enjoyment. I hope you like it.
There you go. Sit back, enjoy the show, relax. Let us know if you want to see anything on future shows. As we said, this comes out live in the Brookings area, but enjoy this archive episode.
Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. This week, the Pale Ale.
Sometimes, unfortunately, the Pale Ale is kind of a forgotten beer, an overlooked beer as people get into the really hoppy or really dark or really boozy or really weird or whatever. Sometimes the Pale Ale gets bypassed.
That's Seth Cook of Wooden Legs Brewing in Brookings. He says the Pale Ale got its start in England. It's now popular around the world. Kind of varies from region to region in the United States.
The Pale Ale is definitive of the brewery. So if you walk into a new brew pub somewhere, I would encourage you to order the Pale Ale because that's really what a brew pub uses to kind of define their voice or find their style. The hop selection they like to use, the barley selection they like to use, the yeast selection they like to use.
Usually you can expect a good balance of malt and hops. Now, American pale ales are often cleaner, a little bit hoppier, while the Brits tend towards malty, buttery, and balanced. Looking back at the history of American craft beer, one of the milestones is a pale ale, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Stands as kind of a patron of the craft brewing industry. Out in California there they have access to a lot of those hops, so it is a West Coast style pale ale. Very, very good, very drinkable, very consistent.
And it helped turn American palates towards hoppier beers, a trend that still continues. For Wooden Legs, it's the American-style Split Rock Creek Pale Ale.
The Split Rock is really kind of this is how we define it. This is the beer that, one of the first beers, if not the first beer that I had made when I was a home brewer. And the quest at the time was to come up with a beer that I like to drink and that was uniquely my own, and many home brewers kind of start that way, and that's kind of why we keep it around, is it really is kind of a tie-in to the past of when we started this whole project.
In just a moment, we continue with our look at the Pale Ale.
One bourbon, one Scott, one beer.
Welcome back. We continue with our Beer Untapped exploration of the Pale Ale. Brennan Sully Sullivan at Pints and Quarts says the Pale Ale helped bring craft beer into the mainstream.
Before the IPA started coming into the market and a lot of your other different styles, I could see it as a gateway beer to the craft beer world, and it might be a little outside the comfort level. But they might go, well, I do kind of like this, and they might try another one, and they might try something else. The next thing you know, they're drinking a Double Dead Guy and liking it.
And with those 35 taps at Pints and Quarts, there's usually a few featuring pale ales. Now, you can find a variety of pale ales at Brookings Liquor Store. Beer guide Drew Eklund highlights a few.
First one is 8-Bit from Tallgrass out of Manhattan, Kansas. I first bought it for the art on the can, which is pretty cool. It's a tribute to like the old school gaming systems. The next one is Sierra Nevada Pale. It's a classic. It's a must. The next one is from Madhouse out of Newton, Iowa.
Okay, haven't had that one.
Yeah, not very many people have. I think it's really underrated.
And when we do a show on a specific style, we're going to continue the tradition of randomly surveying people to find out their faves. So what is your favorite pale ale?
5 Barrel Pale Ale is pretty good. Odell always does a good job.
The Goose Island 312 Urban Pale Ale.
Boulevard Pale Ale. That's the first Pale Ale I had, and it's the first one that I've enjoyed, and that's always my go-to for those that are looking for something other than a domestic.
I really, really like Wooden Legs Split Rock Creek, but I also really like Wolf Picker by Odell. It's a fresh hop made from like their own hops that they kind of grew, and it's really good.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Otherwise, Odell also makes a fantastic summer pale ale. St. Lupulin is a fantastic beer.
I think the best one is the Foco collaboration by Odell's in New Belgium. It's really citrusy and it's really easy going down.
Split Rock Creek is the first one that I tried, and that's my introduction. Still my favorite, but I've been getting into the Summit Extra Pale Ale, and that's delicious.
My favorite pale ale is Sierra Nevada. What the heck's the name of it?
Pale Ale. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
I especially like the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
My pick of the week, well, I have to go with one of my favorite beers, Mirror Pond Pale Ale from Deschutes Brewing. Mirror Pond, hops up front, juicy, fruity, pineapple, maybe a hint of orange and peach in there. Then comes the sweetness of the malts. There's some toffee, little bit of honey as well. It finishes with a pleasant, lingering bitter note. Thank you for listening to this archived edition of Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Feel free to listen to other episodes, and if there's anything you'd like us to talk about on a future show, please let us know. Thanks again.